Israelis have. I assume because they know they have Washington in their pocket. This is the first time in a long time that the American-Israeli arrangement ran into trouble because Trump was greatly embarrassed by the American defeat in Iran. And then now you convinced him that Iran would fall in 3 days. It didn't fall, and Trump can't figure out how to get out of it. I told you, I think, and if I did, I'm sorry to be repeating for your audience and you, but I think Trump's way out of it is to start another war in Cuba. And so the whole news will shift to Cuba, and Trump will call the aircraft carriers from Iran to help him in Cuba, and the whole Iranian thing just moves to the back burner and then off the stove, and all the news will be about Cuba. I think that's the only real way he has of getting out of it. And the Israelis were determined not to let him out. But this statement that you said the Iranians made today is a pretty powerful statement. And if Israel ignores it and goes on bombing in Lebanon and Iran doesn't do anything about it, then there's no stopping Israel. There's no way to stop them. So if Israel decides that Iran's bluffing and they're going to call Iran's bluff or send some secret message, we'll nuke you, Iran just has to say, we'll nuke you. You're Dimona. That's our nuclear weapon. We'll hit that and you're gone. In fact, you know, if Iran was led by Julius Caesar or Napoleon, they already would have hit Dimona and there wouldn't be anything left of Israel. Real generals don't let opportunities like that pass. If any of the great military leaders in history were in Iran, Israel would no longer exist. There'd be nothing there.
Paul, when it comes to Gaza, when it comes to Palestine, you said that they didn't fight back, but they have their shortage when it comes to the weapons, when it comes to this. They don't have it. Who's in some sort of position to help them, in your opinion? Is that because I think the geography suggests that the government in Egypt is in a better position to help them, but they're not doing anything. I don't know if you heard this guy, this Israeli spy, Jonathan Pollard, yesterday. He said that the next step after the war against Iran, the next step going to be Egypt and Turkey. And he's afraid of Turkey. He doesn't know how to deal with Turkey because Turkey is not part. One of the problems is Turkey is part of NATO. I don't know, but by the way, what does NATO mean anymore? There is no NATO anymore.
Well, see, you're talking about the present day. But this began in 1947, and the Palestinians dramatically outnumbered the Israelis. And when they began experiencing the threat, or this village experiencing it, that village didn't go out and get guns because there weren't any missiles in those days. And Israel didn't have any artillery or tanks. And they didn't have an air force that the Americans gave them. And so the Palestinians could have the same arms Israel's had. And rifles, that's all you need. Rifles, bayonets. And So the village under attack didn't do anything, but the other villages didn't either. They just said, oh, it's that village, it's not us. So instead of the Palestinians realizing, hey, they're going to eat us up piecemeal. Or maybe they thought that the great Western moral democracies would save them. Well, you can't think that for 75 years. And the first Palestinian opposition, I mean, of any determination seems to have been Hamas. The predecessor, I forgot the guy's name now, but the Palestine Liberation or the PLO, they never really put up a fight. So the first time that Israel has run into something it can't deal with is Iran. If Iran keeps the pressure on, then what's Israel going to do? If Iran wishy-washy and agrees to another ceasefire and some more talks, and Israel will say, another stupid nation, we'll just continue like we have. So I think there's nothing else to say about about that. Um, we
Paul,
also
okay, go ahead. Then I'll ask my
all right. We also see that the Russians and the Chinese did not have the wits to make it clear they would not tolerate attack on Iran. They could have prevented that just simply by saying so. They didn't do anything. They permitted it. So the Russians and Chinese don't have any more resolve than the Palestinians had, or any of the other Arabs. And of course, every time Egypt got a leader, we assassinated him. So if Iran has shown more determination than Russia or China, speaks well of the Iranians. But of course, they're an ancient people, the Persians. And everybody throughout history who took on the Persians, they were up against something formidable. And the Persians are still here, and the Greeks and Romans are gone. Go ahead.
yeah. Paul, what does Donald Trump get from Israel? Have you seen any benefit of this sort of relationship he has with Israel? Is it that all about his personal sort of wealth and the way that the people who are close to Israel are somehow helping him to increase his wealth or getting better or improving his personal life? I'm talking about the wealth of his family, not about the country. What is that relationship between Donald Trump and Israel? What is your understanding of that?
I don't have any inside information. I have seen reports that seem to make sense that Trump's family fortune has gone up $4 billion since he's been in office. Um, And the net worth of his two sons has gone up dramatically. I think one went from 50 million to 300 million. Trump, as I pointed out some time ago, not that long ago, is the first president, I think, since Lincoln, Harding, Grant, since the 19th century, to conduct businesses while he's in office. You know, Trump has started businesses, a digital currency business. He did, his wife did. He's using lawsuits to get taxpayer money. I mean, he's conducting a variety of businesses while he's in office. Now, I've never heard of this. This seems to me like an abuse of position. It seems like a conflict of interest. But he's using the presidency to make money. Now, we can say, well, so did Clinton and so did Biden. We know that Biden and his son were selling influence and and all of that. But Trump's actually creating businesses. He's not just peddling influence. He's creating businesses while he's president. I don't quite understand why this hasn't been an issue, hasn't been challenged. I can't really conceive that it's acceptable because it's only associated with two or three extremely corrupt presidencies 2 centuries ago, 19th century. We're in the 21st century. Now, we also know that his political campaign, both of them, were financed by Jewish multimillionaires. Apparently, in his rise in real estate in New York and casinos and other such things, he had access to Israeli money to back him up. I don't know that that's true, but this Adelson woman that gave so much money to his reelection, her husband was in the casino business. So if Trump goes in it, you can see, well, the Jewish elements say, yeah, let's invest in him. He might go somewhere. You know, this is the way they approached Winston Churchill. You know, Churchill was never able to live within his means, no matter how large his means were. He and his wife couldn't live, and they were always in debt. And he almost lost his country estate. And Jewish financiers bailed him out. So I think it's intelligent of people to come to the aid of those who may go somewhere. And clearly, Churchill was one of those people. And so I don't condemn Jews for doing that. It makes sense. The guy's going somewhere. We may need some protection. Maybe somebody will come after us. And so all of this is just part of life. You know, there was a report just the other day. It came from financial releases that the Israel lobby pays Americans $7,000 for every article they write defending Israel. and these people are called influencers. And there's a couple of dozen of them. So they defend Israel from genocide accusations, or they define all the aggression as due to Hezbollah and Hamas and Iran and none to Israel. And well, they get paid $7,000 for each article, and they're earning brownie points with the Israel lobby, which is extremely powerful and has a lot to say about people's success and careers. They've shown they can even reach inside universities and affect tenure decisions. So, and it's because they gift to the universities. So all of this goes on, and it's almost natural. And who knows that Trump isn't had success from that? I think that Trump's alliance with Israel is no different than the United States Congress alliance with Israel. The Congress gets campaign contributions. If you upset Israel, they get rid of you, like Thomas Massey. They just got rid of Thomas Massey. They got rid of Marjorie Taylor Greene simply by getting her to resign. She said, I'm not going to go through the election and have my name dragged through the mud. So there's no independence from Israel in the United States government. I can remember way back, like when I was in the congressional staff and I had all kinds of security clearances, and the CIA was disturbed at the extraordinary spying on the United States by the Israelis, and they weren't able to do anything about it. They weren't permitted. And Israel never gives up on one of its spies. It stays on. If we find one that gets convicted, Israel stays on the case until we release him. So, and media, it's just part of the fabric and the business fabric of everything. And there's no real avoiding it. When the country's best reporters, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Matt Taibbi, Glenn Greenwald, they can't be employed by the media because Israel won't print it. So they all exist independently. They have a big enough following that they can exist as independent analysts, independent news sources. None of them have a job with a media company. They were all kicked out of the media. Tucker Carlson was Fox News's biggest revenue producer. They weren't even allowed to keep that. So the influence of Israel in the United States is massive. It's powerful. And I was Wall Street Journal editor, Business Week columnist, Scripps Harbor Newsweek columnist, Creative Syndicate column. I'm not allowed in the media. I used to be on TV, American TV, constantly. The morning show, today's show, This Week with David Brinkley. any editor that brought me on today would be instantly fired. So you can see that it's a pretty sewn up network. And
Also, the US Congress is somehow merging the two militaries, the American military to the Israeli military. Do you see any sort of threat coming out of this? Because this is huge when you look at what is going on. I don't know what are they seeking for, but just the way that they're going in and it means that Israel can do whatever they want to do, and the United States has to back them. There is no other way. The way that they're somehow getting close to Israel.
that's right. I didn't discover this, but I wrote about it the other day. Philip Giraldi has had an article about it, I think, in the Hunts Review. The United States Congress is got two acts before it that are moving ahead without opposition, and it integrates the Israeli and American militaries in a variety of ways, including weapons development and patents and who owns the weapon system. And I mean, it's an amazing thing to read. And the American people don't know anything about it. This because it doesn't have any opposition in Congress. There's no way for the Americans to hear about it. And the number of people who would dare to write about it are limited. There are a few people in the internet media. But it's not a normal situation for a superpower to be led around with a ring in its nose by a country with 10,000, with 8 million people. And that's what the United States is. I mean, look at the ease Israel had in leading the United States into an act of aggression by attacking Iran. Why? What did we get from this? The Iranians have done nothing to us. The American intelligence agencies have said over and over there's no evidence of Iran working on a nuclear weapon. And yet Trump stands up, contradicts the CIA, and says, oh, I have to stop them having a nuke. Well, the president won't even tell the truth because Israel will get upset.
Just amazing what's going on with the Trump. And,
Yeah,
the guy is.
it's amazing.
I don't know if you saw his interview on Fox News in which he's mentioning the only things, the two things he said that he wants from Iran is one of them to open up the Strait of Hormuz without any sort of toll or fees, and the other point is declaring or confessing that they're not gonna achieve nuclear bombs, or they're not gonna buy it from some other countries, or they're not gonna make those weapons or those bombs in Iran. So he had all of that before this war started. There was no problem in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranians were negotiating with the United States on their nuclear program to assure the United States that they're not seeking for nuclear bombs, and
That
but this is not the issue.
they signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty.
Yeah.
They've already agreed. And the Non-Proliferation Treaty gives them the right to enrich uranium. you enrich it for medical isotopes, for for nuclear power, for energy. People say, well, what does Iran need? They got all this oil. Well, they can sell the oil. So they can get revenues from selling the oil, but if they use it, they don't. So, but you're right. There was no excuse for Trump to agree to attack Iran for Israel. None. No excuse. And he makes up a false one that everybody knows is a lie. Oh, nuclear weapons. This is just like uh, Condoleezza Rice and the Secretary of State Powell telling the UN that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. And Condoleezza Rice was the national security advisor, and she said there'll be a mushroom cloud over American cities. It's fear mongering. So you create fear in a population, and then the population accepts your act of aggression against the demonized country, and that's the way it works. Look at the extremes to which Lindsey Graham goes to demonize Iran. It's absurd. It makes him look like a stupid fool. And he doesn't let go. He keeps on. Israel appreciates it. And he goes to Israel and says, I'm an Israeli. So what's he doing in the United States Senate? Well, they've worked at it for many decades, and as so many of their prime ministers have said, we don't have to worry about the Americans, we control them. They've said this over and over. So it seems to be the case. Eisenhower was the last one they didn't control. When the Israelis and the British and French went into Egypt to steal back the Suez Canal, Eisenhower made them get out. That was what, 58, 59, 60. It was a long time ago. Most people alive today weren't even born then.